Okay, welcome back to another episode of Creators Connect. Today I'm joined by the lovely Tia Nyamuda. Um,
Why is this so hard? I don't understand. Okay, I'm just gonna do the royal wave and scoop the clouds.
this is what I go
to
through.
ease the awkwardness.
This is what I go through every
Okay.
time. Every time I shoot a video. All right, Tia. First question is we would like to know is which instruments do you play and what do you do? I mean, creatively, what do you dabble in?
Okay. Well, I live in the world of music.
Okay.
So music is my thing. It is my life. I play the piano. That's my main instrument. Play the ukulele, the guitar, and the trumpet. I sing a little.
A little.
And once upon a time, the triangle was a thing. A little bit of shaker here and there. Yeah. But yeah, so musically, that's what I do. In terms of other creative stuff, I do write poetry. I like to doodle, draw a little, paint a little. Yeah, and that's pretty much the full scope of what it is that I do, apart from punning.
You pun as well.
Oh yes.
I mean, that has to be on the list. Yeah. You have to be very creative too. I mean, she does deliver the best puns.
I try.
No cap. But I mean, out of everything that you do, what do you think is the one that resonates with you the most? And why?
I think I've always had a dream of being able to spend my life merging the arts that mean the most to me. So with the art, like the drawing, and with the words, and with music, combining all three of those makes something a bit more deeper in terms of who I am, I guess, or what it is that I'm trying to explain. Take, I guess, listening to a piece of music, or like a song without words, and how much, I guess, you can resonate with that compared to a movie, where you see people, you hear the music, you hear, the soundtrack. All of that kind of makes you feel something that you can't really feel with them on their own, even though they're true on their own. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah.
It's very interesting you mentioned that all that stuff makes you feel something. I mean, for you to feel something, there must be a certain message or a directive that's being projected towards you. So I think my next question is, with the work that you do and everything that you create, in a sense, is there a particular message that you are trying to get across to the people you are delivering that content to, and how important is it that they understand the message you're trying to portray?
I think this is kind of twofold. Maybe I'll answer the latter part first. Awkward.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
Wait, do you want to sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star?
Okay. You want to teach me how to play it?
No, just do your own thing.
Oh, lit!
Yeah.
That's been creative.
Yeah.
Let my creative juices flow.
Yeah.
See where it takes me. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah, so your question, I think, definitely is twofold. I'll start with the latter. I think what's very interesting about art in general is that someone had said, once you've created what it is and you've given it to the rest of the world, it's no longer yours. Even though
Yeah.
you have the rights to whatever it is, I guess, at the ears of whoever is able to pick it up, you know. They experience your work in whatever way they do. They have their own context that they've lived through, and so how they perceive whatever it is, if it's your painting or your music, or yeah, I guess your poem, as much as you can give everything that it is that you intended by it, it's still their experience that carries the most weight, right? So yeah, I think in high school when I studied literature, one of the things they really encouraged us is not to like think that we're trying to like get into the mind of the poet and say, yes, I know exactly what that poet was trying to do here, but you're explaining what it is that your experience is through that that writer or composer or whoever it is. And so I think what carries more weight is less so like, I guess, you trying to make sure that people understand what you're trying to say, but more so knowing that you've been true to yourself and what it is that you're writing, and in the hopes that there are people out there who can relate to it, and maybe you're doing them a service, or maybe they are able to realize what it is that you felt, and they in turn don't feel alone. So I don't know, there's that side of it. And what was the first part of the question?
The first part of the question was, do you create with intent to send a message?
Okay. So I don't necessarily intend to create a certain message. I intend to be true to myself.
Okay.
I value authenticity. So whatever it is, like my emotions at the time, if it's maybe something that inspires me, I see something, and it can be so silly. I can be that person who will sit and I'll look at this leaf that's being held up by a spider web, and I'd write a song about it, or like I'd look at my Russian dolls and write a song about it, which I've done, or I'll look at, I don't know, like a table that's a bit skew, and I'd write a song about it. And the funny thing is, when you do that, even though it's something that's so like basic and right there, it exposes a bit of your heart. And you start somewhere which is in reality, and it takes you somewhere like a lot deeper that you probably wouldn't have explored before. So that's the cool thing about art, I think.
Right. That was very deep, but I think what really stood out there is you really create based on how you feel and emotions. I think I'd like to know if there's a relationship between your creativity and like suffering you've probably gone through, and anything depression related. And I know like during this time and the lockdown, things can get like really tough. And not specifically now, but like in general, do you think there's been a relationship between what you've gone through and your creativity?
Yeah, I think throughout my life, I spent a lot of time connected to people. I really value connection, and I guess it has its pros and cons, but I guess there have been times where I've definitely lived through people. And I guess certain people, or maybe all people that I've bumped into, have kind of exposed parts of my character, helping me to understand myself more. So I guess in that sense, I have definitely had experiences where, my heart was really sore for certain people, and I would express that through music, or through poetry. I remember I had a friend who went through like severe depression, and yeah, she was suicidal at a point. She did harm herself quite a bit, and I was very young, and I think that pain that she went through did like weigh heavy on my heart, and so I wrote a poem for her, and it's called Eeyore, and it's actually about Eeyore, from Winnie the Pooh. But at the same time, it was about what I would have told her, if I were to encourage her?
Every creative person, every musician, every artist, every designer has someone they look up to. Someone they always reference or draw inspiration from, someone who motivates them, someone they probably aspire to be. Do you have anyone like that in your life?
I wouldn't say that I particularly aspire to be anyone, because I feel like everyone on this earth has a specific purpose, and whatever it is for, it is unique.
Wow.
And so people do inspire me. They do help me to, I guess, realize the value in myself, because I guess, you know, as a girl, you know, there are lots of, you know, feelings that you have that could be centered around feeling worthless or not worth being loved or X, Y, and Z. And so I think there are definitely like significant people in my life who have definitely shown me who I am. And I think definitely there's so many, like, for example, piano teachers who encouraged me to get to where I am. I would not be, you know, here studying piano if it wasn't for all those people who inspired me. I don't know if I'm allowed to name bash.
Oh, you can.
Okay, well, I mean, they're super amazing. So I'm from Zimbabwe. I went to Chizzy. I'm a Chizzy girl.
Repping Chizzy, I see. I
got that green blood. But yeah, like Die Wright, Jane Waters, Margot Dennis, Nicola Seeger, Natalie Carroll, now Bacon, Sally Kuiper. She was an amazing woman, absolutely amazing. And she is probably the springboard that I had just before coming here to university. And yeah, wow, she was amazing. She really helped me tap into what the piano means to me. She helped me really feel, to perform and to inspire. Community definitely plays a big role in my life, which is probably what makes this lockdown period so hard for me. Trying to figure out how do I connect to people again the same way that I did. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but definitely there have been some inspiring women in terms of listening to people. Like growing up, I used to love Alicia Keys so much, and Nora Jones, loved them. I went through a massive jazz phase. Louis Armstrong. I named my first trumpet Louis. Oh, by the way, like Gemma Griffiths, she was absolutely amazing.
How could you forget Gemma Griffiths?
I think, she used to play trumpet at Chizzy as well. And I think, you know, seeing how she embodied music and seeing how she does now, that's also very inspiring in itself. Her family in general is just really amazing. I think there've just been incredible people around who've shown me how it is they've, I guess, understood music as a language. It is a universal language that I guess, you know, is individualistic, I guess, in a way. It's not like there's one music that applies to everyone, you know. You have your own thing, which I think is really encouraging and inspiring to see, you know. So I guess, they've all inspired me to find my own sound. And maybe I know what that is now, maybe I don't know, but I'm excited to keep fighting for it.
I think you mentioned a lot of names there in terms of people who've inspired you, and you also mentioned something about creativity being a lot about community for you. So I think just like you really just firmly believe in working and learning from others. Do you think like a creative journey is like a solo mission, or definitely has to do with what you give to the creative community and what you take out of it?
I think music is something that we don't really understand, and we can only really, I guess, tap into it where we are like physically capable of. and through that we get from it what we can, but we don't necessarily understand it. We still enjoy it. So I think, yeah, like, do as you will. If you want to, like, go on your own, go for it. You want to be, like, involved in community, go for it.
Go for it.
But at the end of the day, I do think relationship is important. And what is actually really beautiful is when you realize the broader community, how music shapes us, how it brings us together. Yeah, like, words are powerful, but also, like, music does things that we can't really explain in words. Yeah, so I guess, I don't know, it's an interesting question. Food for thought.
Yeah.
Food for thought.
Yeah, I think it's definitely been an eye-opening sit down. Really learned quite a lot about you, about music, and just creativity in general. It's been one of the deepest ones I've had so far, which is not
Awesome.
not a bad thing at all. But I think on a more lighter note, just to get to know you better and understand you better. It's a bit random, but do you have a favorite cartoon? And if you do, what is it and why?
I think, dude, so many. I think, okay, a big one definitely is Winnie the Pooh. I don't know, I think each character embodies something that I guess means a lot to me, in such a light-hearted way, but also quite an inspiring way. I don't know, Winnie the Pooh's childhood, but at the same time, I think Peanuts definitely as well. I just love Snoopy. He's just so cute.
Is Peanuts another cartoon or
another cartoon? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's kind of like this show about these kids that live, I guess, kind of like away from adults, and the closest thing that you get to adults is like a voice from their parents, but it's not even audible. It's just like a sort of thing. But the highlight is like on how these children like make decisions and live their life. But anyways, like, it's been a long time since I watched it, so I don't really remember too much. My baby brain couldn't really compute. I was just like, oh, cute dog, little people. But I remember when I traveled with my family once to America, we went to Disney World, and there was this person, well, I didn't know it was a person, but they were in a Snoopy suit, and I was like, oh my goodness.
It's actually Snoopy.
Yeah. Gave him all the hugs, held up the line.
I'm dead. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That is very cool. I mean, thank you so much for
It's a pleasure.
gracing us with your presence and your knowledge and your insights and wisdom. It's really been an honor and a pleasure to learn from you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. I'm gonna do a take 2 on introducing your. It's a banjo, right? You play?
Oh, I'd love to play the banjo. Oh, I'd love the banjo.
The banjo
but no,
it's
a ukulele.
The tiny little drums.
Do that again. Do that again.
The banjo is the.
No.
It's not.
No.
It's the tiny little drums.
No.
What are they called then?
The banjo is like the.
Oh, it's like.
The hillbilly.
Looks like a pot.
Yeah.
But a banjo is a ukulele.
No. They look very different. Like, a banjo is like an actual.
Oh, it's like.
It's very circular. But then like, the ukulele is
like a guitar.
Curvy.
The ukulele is like this, but
yeah,
it's
but
like mini.
Baby, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a beb guitar. I don't know why they called it a ukulele then, if it's just a guitar.
Well, I mean, firstly, that's rude. No, I'm joking. To be honest, I don't even know what ukulele means, to be honest. It would be really cool to find out what it does mean. But I do know, like, it's an instrument that originates from probably, like, Hawaii or those kind of islands up there. So it probably has, like, a very specific meaning. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm just...
It'll be cool to
sorry
know.
To the music community for...
Don't apologize. I don't have any answers here.
That statement. That was rough.